Hello everyone, this is Disciple Tarot here with a new video. We are going to be looking at your shadow and its dastardly aspects. So the first card will be your shadow itself, what it is. The second card will be its impact, how it affects you, your life. And the third card will be basically how to deal with it, how to heal this shadow. And we will be using the Osho Zen Tarot. So, let's get cards. All right, we have trust. We have the creator. And we have the Six of Rainbows. All right, guys, these are your cards. Please just take a second to see which one resonates to you, which one's drawing your attention, the colors, the imagery, anything, the shapes, and you will find your card in the timestamps below. So I will see you in just a second. You picked trust, and this is of the water suit. This very much is the emotions. This is tied into your ability to trust, whether that is some sort of blockage you have, or it is something you're trying to work on or have succeeded at recently, or anything like that. Trust. This is the theme of your reading today. So once we get into your shadow and what's to come, what are the struggles, and how to heal from it, the point is it is focused on trust. So this could be that you're struggling with it or maybe doing well, but your shadow in some way is tied into trust. So let's get your shadow. So you may have difficulty with your maturity, your mental growth, your emotional growth. I would say this mostly has to do with the spirit, your body, your essence, kind of everything tied together, since this is of rainbows, which is of the earth element. So this is very much tied into your body, so your actual physical form. Not that I'm saying you're physically not matured or something. I mean, you could be younger watching this, but that's not what this card is about. If this is referring to your shadow is the Ace of Rainbows, then maturity is the difficult situation here. You find yourself in a place where you are struggling to move forward with your maturity. You're responding to situations in an immature way. Your shadow is affecting your maturity, is what I'm trying to say. So you may respond to things as a child would. Maybe you're lashing out too easily. You get angered too easily. You have a short, fuse. You don't, like trust. You have a hard time trusting others and being, an emotionally secure person. The shadow of yours is affecting your overall growth as a person. So let's get your second card, which your second card will be um, how your shadow affects you. Now, I know I was already kind of talking about that with maturity here, but that is your shadow itself is all about maturity. You have a um, immature nature in some regard, whether that's, you resonate with it being sort of everything, like you're being very vulnerable right now because of something that happened in your past or even just recently, for example. You could be acting this way because of a bad breakup or some sort of trauma, something like that. Or it's affecting just one area of your life. It will resonate in different ways for you guys. This is a general reading, but with this maturity card being your shadow, then it's basically turning this card negative. So you're immature in some fashion. But how does this affect you most? How does this affect you, your shadow? Postponement. I mean, it's basically what I was talking about. So I don't even need to really go into much with this card because I was already touching on it with what I've been saying. This is the Four of Clouds, postponement. So you can see this figure here, they're almost drained of their color, their life. You can see there's a little bit of color in their shirt here, but otherwise they are gray and black, black and white, whatever. And there's this picture frame they're seeing, right, where the world is colored, but the world around them, the actual real world, is void of color, void of life. So this postponement is that you, because of this immaturity, because of this shadow that creeps in and affects your maturity, makes you act in ways you otherwise wouldn't. This postponement is affecting your ability to trust. Okay, so postponement. So things are being literally postponed, delayed because of the shadow. Your mind has become a cage. Sometimes it's good to postpone things, but not in this case. It's like a cage around you, this boxed frame, as you see in the card. So things are a lot more difficult, a lot more triggering for you with this shadowed, maturity. Because this first card is representing your shadow, I would almost say see this card as if it's in black and white. There is no color here, just like how the color is being drained out of here. So let's get the third card. How can you heal? What can you do? What advice essentially is there? You need to work on things. I mean, I know that's an obvious answer, but that's actually the card here. We are the world, the 10 of rainbows. This is becoming one with the world. So this card definitely is full of color. Like as I said, this first card, you could imagine it being drained of color. Definitely don't do that with this third card. This card is full of color. You need to connect with those around you. You need to connect with the world. You need to ground yourself. You need to battle against the shadow. You need to find the resistance, the means in order to do so. This is the 10 of rainbows. It is the end of a cycle. As you can see, all these people here, I don't know how many there are, I'm not going to count, but there's like 20 people, let's just say, they are all joined together, all of differing shades of colors, right? Representing all different peoples and stuff. You need to see yourself as a unique individual. You need to say that I can be in this circle. I can be joined with others, in happiness and glee, carefree, joyful. So this really is about you being able to reach the pinnacle of this suit, the suit of rainbows, the earth element. So while your maturity is being impeded by this postponement, things are being postponed, and you feel maybe you're lacking behind your friends emotionally or mentally, for example. At least it will feel as such because of the Four of Clouds, this being of the mind. But with the Ten of Rainbows, this is you doing basically the exact opposite. You need to snap out of it, connect with those around you, learn what is triggering you, and learn what is triggering you and fight against it, challenge it. Don't settle for, easy triggers. Excuse me. So, if you, let's just say, get really triggered by, especially once again, since this is tied into trust, right? Then let's just say, you have boundaries in your relationships, and this is romantic or otherwise, both of them, all kinds of relationships, not just romantic. But in your relationships, let's just say you do struggle with trust. You can't be like this figure. You're unable to jump off, some high point that's not even on the card and just soar through the air. That is, you couldn't trust that process. You'd be like, that's dangerous. So to you, trusting other people, for example, can be dangerous to you. But the exact opposite is what you need to do to overcome that insecurity or that immaturity or that fear of the shadow, is connecting with others. Instead of running away and saying everyone's hands are dirty, it's seeing their hands as clean, giving people a chance and holding their hands and letting them into your life. So of course, again, this will vary for all of you, but that is the gist, and and this is your reading, guys. I hope this really helps you. Honestly, it's pretty straightforward advice actually for this one. You just need to embrace others and their differences and your differences and join this circle. Join the party, join play, and not hide, not postpone things in your mind because you are aware of this immaturity or not, can vary. But if you're postponing your own abilities, your own activities, your actions, then you are not living. You are not part of the world. This we wouldn't include you in that case, but you do need to include yourself because you're part of the we. Does that make sense? And so yes, that is your reading, guys. I really hope this helped you. I really do. Please let me know in the comments how this resonated. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, all that goodness. If you would like to book a private session with me, you can do so through my email below in the description box. And then also, if you'd like to tip me, you can find my PayPal. That definitely helps me get new decks and things like that for the channel. But otherwise, thank you so much for stopping by, guys, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. If you picked the Creator, which is the King of Fire in this deck, then probably your shadow, right? Because this whole reading is about your shadow. It is affecting your ability to not only literally create, but it's more so it's affecting your ability to manifest things in your life. To be the one to sit there, like this figure here with their hands together, and there's like energy right here, like pure energy, creation, manifestation. You are unable to do this. You're unable to sit there and go, okay, I'm going to start that business, right? That drive to do something, you're unable to do it. Whether out of fear or something like that, it's going to vary. But the Creator, this is what your shadow is focused on. In some way, it is your ability to manifest in order to stand tall and powerful over the world around you, especially your own ambitions. So that is what I would say this reading is about. But let's get more cards to clarify that. So what is your shadow? What card represents your shadow? Almost got a card there, but not quite. That's funny. This is the card that the first reading got. It wasn't their shadow, it was the impacts. But basically, it is a similar, just it will be a similar description to the first reading. So your shadow is on postponement. So your shadow is giving you this perspective that there's a box, and that the life, see the rainbow within the shirt being like drained away, it's the shadow is affecting your ability to see life for what it is. You're at this pause in your life before. You're at this pause, this moment where you're unable to act. Whether externally or internally, of course, will vary. I'd say more internally. Well, both internally and externally. And it will certainly vary, I'm sure, for some of you. But with the creator, that's a very like hands-on kind of energy. It's do this, do this, do this. It's create this, create this, create this. And so you can't do that with postponement, can you? Because things are not as they seem. The world is devoid of color. You have a limited view of the world as colorful. You're not able to fully connect with the world. You're stuck within the mind. So postponement, things are stilted, discolored, right? Drained, devoid of color, devoid of life. So your shadow is basically it's this mindset of limitations. That is what your shadow is. So let's get the next card, and that's how does it impact you? I think you can probably imagine with the description I gave of postponement, you can kind of, already understand some of the impacts. But let's get a card for it. In what ways does postponement, your shadow, impact you? It affects your ability to see things clearly, which that really connects to this box here in the card. With the 7, this is the 7 of the major arcana, awareness. Usually the chariot, but that's awareness in this deck. And so it's your ability to see life for what it is, see beyond the veil, to see the light and dark. It's awareness. So it's pretty straightforward, actually. This is your ability to really connect to your own intuition and your mind, your conscious mind, and make that connection, that awareness of things around you. This impacts you because you're not aware of this limitation that you have. I feel a lot of you watching this can probably connect to this next bit I'm about to say. And it's that you're unaware of this tunnel vision you have with what you can create. Your manifestation is limited, essentially. And you may or may not really be aware of it. So this awareness is saying the impact is because it affects your overall understanding of where you're at, your ability to create, your ability to lead your life in the fiery, passionate way that you want. Again, let's just use that starting a business example. Like, I want to be an entrepreneur. And you have tunnel vision right now, and you're unable to really focus on that goal or grasp it because you don't have awareness. Your shadow is holding you back from being the creator. So a lot of you, this might be a rude awakening, kind of like this veil being lit on fire and, there's a figure behind it. It's almost like that is what isn't happening. This fire is not here. This shroud, this sheath, this sheet or, curtain or whatever is completely fixed for you. It's completely untouched. Until you work on this, which we'll get with the third card here, until you work on this fire here, revealing this figure, the truth of the matter, it's not there. So imagine this curtain as being completely fine, because that is your situation right now. Until you work on it, until we get this third card and you can start working on things, this card, there is no awareness, so there is no peeking through the veil. So let's get the third card. This will be how to heal. What can you do? The 10 of water. The Ten of Water. So this card almost comes from the heart, right? Literally, you have this figure here, and from the heart are these dolphins, and then connecting to the crown of this person, this character. So what you need to do is find emotional harmony. That is what the Ten of Water is, harmony. You need to have perfect harmony between your mind and your heart. So how do you do this? You need to engage with your emotions. This could involve going to therapy or just talking, having a good long 4-hour talk at night with your friends. I don't know if you guys do that, but I do. And so it's, having that good chat, again, therapy or, otherwise, and learning to shed this limited view and start seeing more with your heart than with this restricted mind. So seeing things with your heart, following your passions and your drive, right? The creator. So following that drive. And then by doing so, these dolphins kind of representing the journey of the emotions, right? Because they're very gentle, intelligent creatures. It's being emotionally intelligent, right? So these dolphins are emotionally intelligent. So it is then connecting that new stronger, better perspective, your heart, seeing with your heart, and connecting it to your mind. So instead of having this postponement, your mind would become free, and you'd again be able to burn down this curtain and like see things for what they are. But anyway, it is connecting your heart to your mind and being emotionally intelligent and mature and responsible. So you need to do something that engages your heart, and you can connect it to your own drive, right? The creator. And resolve this discrepancy, this failure, this limitation within the mind of postponement. So this will definitely vary for all of you exactly how to do this, but you'll actually know by watching this video. It'll become definitely somewhat clearer on what you need to do. If you have this negative tunnel vision, right? This bad, tunnel vision. And your awareness is blocked, right? Because remember, this curtain is completely fixed. There's no burning it, as the card shows. So, you're in that predicament. But if you can open up your heart, again, through therapy or talking to a friend or doing journaling or even just engaging with activities that really make you feel good, all about once again, it's feelings, right? The heart, so it's about feelings. Maybe just painting, just reading, finding time to relax, meditate, go on a walk, doing things that can open up your heart. And then this will slowly connect the heart by doing those things, again, therapy or whatever, connecting your heart to your mind, to the crown. And then you'll be emotionally stable. Well, more stable, that is. I'm not saying you're not stable, unless you feel that way, I suppose. But, connecting your mind. And then you'll be able to pierce through this veil. And you'll have true awareness of this limitation. You'll stop doing that. Your shadow won't have a grasp on you. You'll be aware, so its impact will not be negative anymore. You'll be, very positively aware, and then you'll have harmony. And then you can be the creator again. So anyway, guys, that is your reading. I really hope this helped. Please, if you would like to shoot me an email to book a private session, you could do so through my email below. Otherwise, if you would like to tip me, you can find my PayPal, my little tip jar, and you can help me get new decks and things for the channel, some more variety, colors and whatnot. Otherwise, please like, share, comment, subscribe, do all that greatness to not only help the channel grow, but also just to connect with me. Because I want to connect to my viewers, and I really want to know more about you, and I really want to see how my content is helping you. So anyway, if you could do that, that would be very much appreciated. But otherwise, I will see you guys in the next video. Take care. Some kind of work is being done here with the Six of Rainbows in this deck. If you pick this card, then it could be positive or negative, but there is a compromise going on. So this shadow, right, these negative things in your life that are affecting your life, affecting your perspective and your ability to be happy and things like that. It is all themed, it is all focused around the six of rainbows, compromise. So let's get some more cards to better understand what this exactly means. But yes, something to do with compromise. As you can see with the two figures, like touching pinkies, they're in agreeance. But there can be some negative aspects because, they have like green skin. So it's like, you can almost see them like as ill or something. But let's get your shadow. What is your shadow? Aloneness. Now, this isn't loneliness, so don't take that to be the negative meaning. This aloneness is you've been on a sort of spiritual journey, a quest of sorts to better understand yourself. See, you're lighting your own way in the darkness and you're trying to see things from a better perspective. For yourself, that is. Aloneness is the ability to exclude oneself from others in order to understand, the world or themselves. So this aloneness is your shadow. And since it's a shadow, the aloneness card, it's usually the hermit in a traditional Rider-Waite deck, but in this deck it is aloneness, number 9 of the major arcana. If you got this for your shadow, then this is affecting you in a way where it's keeping you excluded. Maybe you understand a lot about yourself. Maybe you've already done a lot of soul searching. However, you are stuck here. You're light, you can't find others. You can't find your way back. We'll get some more understanding with the other cards here, but basically it's this aloneness taken to a negative aspect. Now, I still don't think of it too much as loneliness. I suppose that could certainly be somewhat true, not only for some of you, but because this card is being represented in a negative light since it is the shadow. But the point is it's aloneness. So it's this seclusion that you have been maybe forced into, but regardless, you have learned things about yourself, but you are unable to connect to others regardless. So you may have learned things about yourself during this period right now or in the past, but you are unable to make that connection. There's some kind of some sort of gap that isn't being reached. So let's get the second card, which this will be your its impact, your shadow's impact on you. So in what ways is your shadow impacting you? How is this aloneness card affecting you negatively? Exhaustion. Yeah, it's kind of what I was saying actually at the beginning with this aloneness card. It may be that you're in this period where you've been doing a lot of soul searching or something, and maybe getting help through other tarot readers or something like that, and you're really trying to figure things out, through psychology and spirituality and things like that, but you're just exhausted now. Maybe because you've done it too much, that could be possible, but since this is referring to shadow aspects, then what I would say is it's really this mental fatigue, this exhaustion. You're unable to act, right? Because this is the 9 of fire. So this is about your drive and things like that. So with the 9 of fire being exhaustion, it's like you're unable to act anymore. Maybe you're trying to fix things in your life, but the shadow is causing you to overthink things. Well, essentially causing you to stay stuck as alone. And it's maybe this is the way to word it, it's becoming lonely because how long you've been alone, right? Because we shouldn't be alone all the time. Being aloneness isn't a negative thing. It is, like I said at the beginning, this is traditionally the hermit, and the hermit isn't a bad card. It's just a card about soul searching. It's about seeking answers and, approaching the next card, the Wheel of Fortune, change, the 10 of the major arcana. So it is seeking answers and knowledge in order to change and become new. but your shadow is keeping you here. So you're not moving on to change. You've been stuck alone, essentially, for so long, and now it's exhausting. Does that make sense? That's what I'm trying to say. You're just exhausted because where you're at. It's not exactly where you want to be, and you feel stuck. You feel very restricted. So let us get your third card, which will be how to heal, how to deal with this exhaustion. What can you do about this Nine of Fire? All right, that's a good message. It is the, slide this over. It is the Two of Rainbows, moment to moment. So you need to take baby steps to get yourself out of this situation. You need to find what your, essentially your shadow, in what ways is your shadow keeping you stuck? Because it's not just, oh, you're stuck and that's it. You're stuck in some ways. Are you too focused on self-improvement? Are you overthinking things, for example? Are you stuck with your own insecurities on fixing them? And then, of course, again, you feel exhausted and unable to act, essentially. If that is the case, then the answer is to take the Two of Rainbows, which is, traditionally the Two of Pentacles. So it's sort of that balance of emotional well-being, being able to withstand like the waves and the turbulence of the sea while balancing the earthly realm, your earthly possessions, your body, your spirit. So with that said, having moment to moment, you need to take life moment to moment. You need to take baby steps, as you can see with this figure just hopping along these rocks in sort of this sea of rainbows, the world around you. You need to take baby steps to get out of the situation of aloneness. So think about, in what ways are you alone? Not necessarily lonely, because we can all be lonely at times, but in what ways are you alone, and are you stuck being alone? With the examples I gave, use those as examples, but in what ways are you stuck alone? And then realize, you will realize these are basically the correct answers, if you will, for yourself being alone, is because you feel exhausted. In what ways are you exhausted? Like, oh man, I'm just so tired of, dating and stuff like that. And you'd be like, okay, well, why? And it's because you're too focused on your boundaries and you're stuck on working on them without actually giving people a chance or something like that. Again, that compromise. You're unable to come to a compromise with yourself. I would say this is you and your mind or your heart or your body, your soul. So you are unable to make a compromise to move forward, to get out of aloneness. You're stuck here. Again, I keep saying that, but that's just what it is. So in what ways are you stuck here? In what ways are you exhausted? Because the way to get out of it, the way to fix this, is to take baby steps. Get out of your mind of being alone. Engage with others. Engage with the world to show the work you've done on yourself. Whether you've been forced into this place of the hermit or not, you have much to show. I would say you guys have much to show for it. What you've worked on, what you've improved in your life. So shine it. Like this light here, make it shine. Don't be exhausted anymore. Make it shine and move out into the world with baby steps in order to not feel alone anymore. You've been stuck in this self-improvement phase or something similar, and it's exhausting. But take these baby steps to move out of that and to just enjoy life moment to moment. And that is your reading, guys. I really hope this helped you. Please let me know down in the comments how this did help you, and I would love to hear about it. Like, subscribe, all of that goodness. Otherwise, please shoot me an email if you would like to book a private session. That would be great to work with you one-on-one. You can get more information if you email me about that. And then also, if you would like to tip me, you can find my PayPal below. If you would like to, tip me, that would definitely help the channel out, and it would be very much appreciated. So thank you so much for stopping by, guys, and I will see you in the next video.